Hello friends, and welcome back to my sewing zone, aka the dining room, which is never dined in. Along my sewing journey, I've learned that I really love the process of constructing pants, jeans, trousers. I love it. It's so much fun. It's so satisfying. But there's nothing more disappointing than going through all of that work and realizing that the end product makes your butt look, well, less than stellar. Sewing and fitting are two completely different beasts, and while I wouldn't say I'm a beginner at sewing anymore, when it comes to fitting, I am absolutely a beginner. And since I've given up on fitting my chest for now, we're moving on to the butt. I've made a couple pairs of hard pants, as they say, with like a jean zipper type thing in them, and they've all turned out pretty decently. Like, I've been happy with all the results of them, except the butt area. There's always something a little off about the butt area. And looking at all these fit diagram illustrations, guides, and whatnot online kind of just makes things a little more confusing for me. And yes, I've heard about the top-down, center-out method. I have attempted to use it once, but I couldn't quite wrap my brain around it, so I think I'm just not ready for that yet. I don't know. I'd like to give it another shot in the future, but today we're going to be trying something a little more traditional. Now, I tried to tackle this issue in my most recent make, which is a pair of Brooks jeans from Helen's Closet. However, while the process of those was just a total nightmare in general, just in terms of things kept going wrong, I kept running out of stuff, it was just, something was just off about that project right from the get-go, and I should have just listened to the universe and set it aside for a little bit, but I guess I didn't really pay attention to the finished garment measurements of that pattern as well as I should have, and my jeans ended up humongous. The recommended size on the size chart, for me, the finished garment measurements were absolutely ginormous. I was like a little kid wearing her like Big Brother's pants. That's how it looked. And that's not the intended fit of those jeans. So I was upset, to say the least. Easy enough though. If something is too big, you can take it apart, you can make it smaller. And so what I did was shred up those seams, and I've used those pants as a fitting toile for other patterns since. Enter the Daughter Judy Brier pant. People in the sewing community rave about Daughter Judy patterns, how great the instructions are, how well drafted they are. So here we are. I'm on a mission to make a pair of cool girl pants and have a good butt in the end. Now here's how my butt looks in every pair of hard pants I've made so far. Pardon the wrinkles. I didn't want to put everything through a wash and dry cycle just for this video. They're all clean. They're just very wrinkly. And yes, I'll just wear those around the house until they de-wrinkle a little bit. So I know the wrinkles make it worse looking than it is, but none of them are very great. You know, they've all got that little drag line that kind of seems to go from like my butt down to my inner thigh. Fit guides and pictures of all these alterations and adjustments you can make in sewing patterns. When it's a drawing, especially like a diagram with a drawing with some lines on it, somehow my brain just cannot comprehend. I'm like, well, which way are those lines going? Because sometimes in real life, you can see the lines are like going from here to there, but then in the diagram, like you can't tell. Where's the starting? Where is it ending? You know, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense to you. Very hard for my brain to wrap around. I don't know why, okay? But I've tried, and I've looked at so many fit guides. So after countless hours of scouring real pictures of real people's butts on various sewing subreddits, I think I've come to the conclusion that I have a low butt, perhaps some full inner thighs. And so perhaps those two things together are causing the inner fabric of the thighs to kind of pull a little bit, which is pulling from the butt cheek zone and kind of creating that like waterfall butt zone. Some internet diagrams make it look like I have a flat butt, and then some make it look like I have a full butt, and then others make it look like one of them even made it seem like I had thin thighs. I'm like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way I need a thin thigh adjustment. And so I just decided we're gonna do something a little controversial. Well, some people think it's controversial. I decided we're just gonna scoop. If I have a low butt, she just needs a little more room in the basement, and that's okay. So after my very first falconer pants, I started scooping a little bit because I was like, what's going on with this butt? So I started to scoop a little bit. In my next pair, I scooped a tiny bit. And then my next pair of pants, completely different pattern though, so not sure what I was thinking here. Scooped a little bit there, and I just scooped a little bit out of every pattern I made, like a little bit more each time. Always scared to do too much because everybody says a little goes a long way. So I was keeping it conservative, you know, holding back a little bit. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I just need to scoop the shit out of my pants to see any sort of change. Because here's the reality. My butt hangs below the crotch line. And so fit guides are always like, don't ever scoop below the crotch line. Okay, but that's where my butt is. That's where my butt goes. That's where my butt cheek is. So like that's where I need more room. So I'm gonna do it. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna scoop real hard in these Brier pants, and we're just gonna see what happens, okay? We're just gonna see what happens. So based on the size chart and the final garments measurements, which I checked this time very closely, I chose to do a 14 waist and then blend down to a 16 at the hip, which would give me more than enough ease to just comfortably move around in and exist in this nice pair of pants that I'll be making in a 10-ounce denim. I even did the classic one-legged toile just to see what was going on, and I could see right from the beginning that there was still going to be the same butt issue that I experience in all pants patterns. A little bit of the butt funnel that kind of goes from my outer butt cheek down into my inner thigh. And I was like, great, what do I do with this information? So I scooped a little bit of that toile and it got a little bit better. So I figured, all right, that's cool. You know what I did? I took my Brooks jeans that were way too big, sliced them open, traced the daughter Judy Brier pants crotch curve onto those, and then sewed that up just to see how it would be. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. Of course, we're not getting the full aspect of the pants pattern because I only traced the back crotch curve of those onto those jeans, so the rest of it was just the Brooks jeans drafting. But it wasn't terrible. It really wasn't that bad. So I decided, let's just truck on and let's just scoop the crap out of these pants and see what happens. Now let's check back in with past Tara to see what she's gotten up to with the pants. Take it away, Tara. I've got my pockets on my Brier pants. I've kind of forgot about the idea that you need a pocket fabric that's not your main fabric, especially if you're using a denim, which I believe this is a 10-ounce cotton denim from Lyrical Fabrics. It is a dog fur and lint magnet, let me tell you. I've never had this much magnetism on a denim fabric before. I think I much prefer a brushed bull denim for that reason. Things don't seem to stick to that as much, but for now, this is what we're making our pants out of. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make a pair of green Briers? So I found this little strawberry fabric in my stash and I thought, let's use that for our pockets. How cute, why not? And that's what I'm up to so far. We have a pocket and there we go. In the pattern instructions, it does mention that the pockets are supposed to have pocket ease in them, which means that when you're wearing the pants, the pockets probably will like gape open and stick out just a little tiny bit. That's the way the pants are intended to look. And I was like, do I want that? So I kind of made it a little less pocket ease just to see. Okay, so maybe that is secretly one other adjustment that I've done so far, but that's it. I swear, I promise. I haven't even scooped up the crotch on the fabric yet. I've just thought about it. I know how much to do. And also, I finally just played around with, okay, I know this is a controversial method and a lot of people don't like it. The aluminum foil crotch curve, okay? Look at that. Look, my butt comes down. My butt is not level with my crotch. The butt comes down past the crotch. Down, low butt adjustment. That kind of just really helped me feel more confident in going ahead with doing that adjustment in this pant, in this pattern. Sometimes when you give this a fresh press on your body and then you compare it to a pattern you're about to work on, you go, yikes, that is gonna be insane. This is my long-winded way to say that I'm really trying to tackle getting a better fit in the butt of my pants, okay, this year. I think so far so good in terms of getting the zipper on. A little bit confusing just because it's different than any other way that I've done it before, but I think it's going well so far. And now I'm about to stitch together the rise. But I just had to stop and have like a little cookie break because whenever there's like a new method of construction I'm not used to, I'm really scared I'm gonna mess it up. And I know I would just learn something if I did, but I just, you know, I don't want to mess it up. I'd like it to go well. And so I keep just taking a pause, eating a cookie, rereading the instructions, rereading what I've already done to make sure that it seems like I've done it right. We all know how my ginger jeans fly turned out. Not good, not good. I don't want to jinx it. It seems like everything's matching up, lining up where it needs to. Everything's laying flat. So, I mean, I guess let's just do it. This is the scariest part of making jeans. If there's something wrong with your crotch, the eyes just kind of naturally go there. And you go, what's going on with that crotch? What's up with that fly? What are you doing down there? And we don't want that. I would much rather have a nice smooth front, no weird zipper crotch area happening. And I would rather have that and a weird butt than like a good butt and a weird crotch. You know what I mean? Okay, I have the fly in, but I'm not really happy with how it turned out. Can you see there's like a puckering, like a weirdness going on down here. I don't know if that will be sort of masked as I'm wearing it, because that'll be like, you know, whoop, up the crotch. But I'm used to my flies turning out a lot nicer. And I know this is just my first time using a new method, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. You know, I like to give every method a couple times before I really judge. But right now I still prefer the Helen's Closet method of doing a fly. I'm just gonna carry on with them. They are just my wearable toile. I gave it a good steam, thinking maybe that would just like help it relax a little bit. But we'll just have to see like how that hangs on the body. It might be totally fine, right? It could be totally fine. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I buy Wonder Tape and then I'm like, oh, it's too precious. I can't use it. Use your Wonder Tape. Use the Wonder Tape. Use your Wonder Tape. It is so handy. It's not that expensive and there's quite a bit on a roll. It's going to last you a while. Promise you, the Wonder Tape is not that precious. Use your Wonder Tape, especially if you're putting in zippers. It makes it so easy. Pins and zippers, annoying. Zippers and Wonder Tape, smooth, easy peasy. The only annoying thing is that you can see it until you give them a first wash. I'm ready to jump back into the Brier pants. I took a little break this morning to sew this. Just wanted to throw together a little wearable toile of the Modern Sewing Co. rib sweater because I want to make it in my really nice wool silk blend fabric that I have with like a dark red ribbing. But first time around I didn't order enough ribbing because I didn't know that it only came in like little tiny things. I didn't see that it was only 28 inches wide. So I'm waiting for my second delivery of ribbing to arrive so I can make that. But in the meantime, I thought I have this fabric that I really fell out of love with. And I made a sweater for Clementine with it. And I was like, let's just use this to make a sweater just to see how the body fit of this pattern is going to be. And of course, I mean, I didn't use ribbing for the neck or the sleeve cuffs at all, or the hem. So I just extended the pieces a little bit because the stretch on this fabric was not enough to get the stretch that you actually need with the ribbing. So I just kind of modified it a little bit and it ended up with this really, really cozy little pullover that I'm not upset about at all in any way. And I probably will end up wearing, so happy with it. It makes me like the fabric a little bit more. So there's a lesson there, I think, that just because I'm uninspired by the fabric itself doesn't mean that I won't love it once it's turned into a garment. Does that make sense? But how do I know that's gonna happen? I guess I don't know. So, happy little accident. I mean, the sleeves they are big boy sleeves, but they are very cozy sleeves. Anyway, all that to say, now I can get the pink thread off of my sewing machine and we can start working on the trousers again. So where we left off yesterday was getting the darts and the backs sewn together. And I believe our next step will be doing the top stitching all along down the back and then getting our pockets on. And then I would assume joining the pants at the side seams and then we do a waistband. So like we don't really have that much to do. I probably could finish these today, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit in a dilly-dally mood. So I'll probably finish them tomorrow or maybe even the next day. I don't know. I'm just dilly-dallying. I'm just having a good time with it. These pants might even end up looking cute with the sweater. I have a whole little winter outfit. Let's rock and roll. All right, so the step I just completed was edge stitching down the darts on the back. You probably can't see that very well. I'm not using a contrasting top stitching thread for these pants. So what I've done is instead of cutting out the scoop of the fabric, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, I drew in my line with chalk and then I just stitched along that, but I left the fabric just in case for some reason I'm like, oh, that scoop wasn't necessary. And maybe if I want to unscoop, you can't unscoop if you've cut the fabric away, but I've left the fabric for now. I don't know if this is the right way to be going about anything, so please don't take anything of what I'm saying as like advice. I'm just working through it on my own, okay? So let's get to work on the pockets. Dog hair on these pants. What am I doing? These are gonna be a nightmare to wear. Pockets are pinned, ready to sew. What do we think about that placement? I guess we'll see. I think in the future I will probably be attaching my pockets before I attach the pant legs to each other. I think I prefer that method a lot more than you're wrangling less fabric, kind of like under the machine at once trying to do a pocket, you know? It just seems kind of silly to me to put the pockets on after the pants are together. I don't know. Personal preference, I think. Like, look at this. Now there's too many legs to wrangle. Wow! One pocket stitched on, my dudes. Look at that. Dart into butt pocket. Cute. You know, at first, I thought the little zigzag stitch detail on the top was kind of cute. And now I don't know how I feel about it. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll get the other one stitched on and then we can always change it, I think. Hate joining legs this way so much. It just makes me want to, like, go into a rage. I don't know why. I just hate it so much. Okay, I know my bottoms are not really going to line up that well because I cut them a little extra long just in case. Because you can always take away length, but you can't really add it that easily, right? Right. I probably added like an extra 2 inches of length just at the bottom, just as a safety precaution. The longer I look at this fabric just absolutely covered in dog hair, the more I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? Okay, so I did the bad thing that you're not supposed to do, and I basted the side seams together, and then I put them on. And I'm not unhappy with the fit. I think they're gonna be pretty good. I'm trying to be so careful not to like pull anywhere. I've stay stitched at least, so hopefully that's okay. There is something weird happening in the front crotch. I knew there was going to be. That my fly installation felt wonky and weird. I wasn't really happy with that. And this is just like a really stiff denim that I'm not used to wearing or even like working with a denim this stiff. So it feels kind of funny. Maybe it'll like soften up with wear and like, you know, time. But I mean, the fit's pretty good. How's the butt look? I don't know. I can't see my butt. I think it looks okay. I'm gonna continue on making the pants as is. I'm gonna properly do the side seams and inseams and whatnot, throw a waistband on, and we're done. Hopefully I haven't stretched out the top too badly. I know that was a bad idea, but I did it anyway because I really wanted to see. Okay, let's take them off. They feel pretty comfortable to wear. I'm not gonna lie, you know, they don't feel bad. I hope the butt doesn't look terrible. I'm gonna look at it with my phone. So I finished all my inside seams and whatnot, and I've got my belt loops on. So our next step is just attaching the waistband and then hemming, and that's it for the pants. However, I've just run into an issue. I was attaching the waistband to said pants, and somehow it's too small, which is confusing because I cut the waist of my pattern of all the pieces, size 14, and the waistband is size 14. I followed all of the seam allowances, and it's too small. So I don't know if I have enough fabric to cut a bigger waistband, but we're gonna have to see, because otherwise I don't know how I would make her bigger, you know what I mean? And it's not that like it's too small. Like this is the size of the waistband that I would have wanted, you know? Nice and snug, and will stretch out a little bit. But now I'm worried my pants are just gonna bag out way too big when I wear them. I guess we'll just have to see. This is all the fabric I have left. I don't know if it's gonna be enough to get the waistband cut out on the proper grain line. So, I don't know. I don't know how this happened. Clearly I did something wrong, so let's see. Never mind, we're gonna be fine. I'm just looking at my grain line the wrong way. Okay, I think we'll be fine. I'll just cut it an inch longer on each, whoops, ripped it. I'm just gonna cut the fabric an inch longer on each side and hope for the best. New waistband cut out. I've pressed up my edge and we just gotta stitch it together. I'm opting to forego the interfacing on this one. I don't know, I think mostly just because every pair of jeans that I've made so far, I have put interfacing in the waistband, and so I just want to try it once without it and see how I feel. Like maybe I'll prefer it without. So we won't know unless we try, right? And plus this waistband gets that like trapunto stitching all down it, so that'll make it a little more stiff in general anyway. So I think maybe we can get away. So maybe this isn't the best pattern to see how it's going to be without interfacing, but it's bigger now. So hopefully it's going to fit on our pants. Should I check it before I sew it? It should be fine, right? Let's just do it.
It's normal morning time now, aka it's not 3 a.m. anymore. So the lighting is a little bit nicer. I've got the pants together. The waistband is on. All I have to do is get the button and the buttonhole on. But just because something weird went on, I think it almost seems like since I cut the top portion of the pattern pieces, so like the waist at a 14, and then I blended out to a 16 as I went down to the hips, I think I kind of ended up with more of like a 15 of the waist. So it's still a little bit too big somehow. There's some gaping for sure in the back, which I was trying to avoid, but somehow didn't manage to. I've got them on. Look at these. We do still have some like wrinklage in the front because I know I messed up down here underneath the front fly. So it's pulling in a funny way in a little bit. But I'm okay with that. Like that's whatever. Their pants, they're going to be like wrinkly a little bit when you lift up your legs and stuff. So like it's not horrendous to look at, right? Like it's totally fine. Anyway, so on the pattern pieces, it was like, put your buttonhole over here and then like your button over here. And I was like, well, that's not going to work out for me. So I think I'm just gonna do it like here. So it's in line with the fly, obviously. We'll do it there. And then I will, oh no, it didn't catch. Uh-oh, look what I did. Uh-oh, gotta fix that. Shoot, I thought I was being so careful. Should be able to hide that. That'll be okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna do the buttonhole first, and then I'll just mark where the button wants to be. And then all we have to do is belt loops and then hem it. And by the way, I scooped the crotch like a lot. And this is the best butt that my pants have looked. So I even went further from what I showed you initially. And I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're just going to see what happens. I know this is probably bad. And I know that there is there's a point where you can't just keep scooping out. Like you're going to mess up the pattern. And I did a little bit. So that's why I'm having like some slight pullage in the crotch zone because I couldn't get them lined up really nicely when I was sewing it together. However, the butt is the best a butt has looked on any pants I've made. And so I think in the future what I would do is I think I would make the crotch curve longer because just scooping it isn't giving me enough room for like a low butt adjustment. I think I need to increase the rise a smidgen and scoop it like pretty significantly. And so far that's looking the best. I mean, by no means is it perfect, but it is way better than any other pants I've ever made so far. I mean, I could only see it from looking behind at the mirror upstairs, but I thought it looked pretty good. I don't have the like weird thing going on, the butt waterfall, the wedgie waterfall. It's a little bit wedgy, but you know what? I don't mind because I prefer to have like a little bit of butt separation. Like I don't want to have mono butt in my jeans, you know? Like I would rather have some slight cheek separation. I don't find that uncomfortable. So that's what I like. Anyway, these are pretty cute, eh? They're turning out really nice. All right, let's get that button on and let's finish these bad boys up and we can do a little fashion show. So cute. Also, look at my cute little tag I put in. Looks messy in there, huh? Oh well. All right, the Briers are complete, fully complete. I didn't even leave the hem. I did the hem. And you know what? I even did the hem the wrong way at first. I had to undo it and redo it, of course, because I wanted them to be done. I wanted them to be done, and I wanted them to be right and fully finished. And here they are. And I'm so proud of them. They are my best pants yet. Even better than my worker trousers class pants. And these ones I did all on my own. And I did make mistakes, of course. But, get it? But I think we have come the furthest in terms of butt fit that we have been so far in my sewing journey, which is amazing. So what do you say we try these bad boys on? Here they are. I hope this is a decent angle and you can see very well. It's kind of like the only bright spot in the house where there's light. Anyway, so these are them. I did hem them just where the pattern suggested to hem them, and I think that they are landing just right, the way the pattern has intended, right at the ankle. So they look a little floody, but that's intended design. I love these. I am so happy with these. They're so comfortable. The waistband is a smidgen loose up top, but nothing like crazy. It's totally wearable. I don't think it'll stretch out too much because of the trapunto stitching on the waistband. Am I saying that right? Trapunto? I don't even know. But it's really neat. And it's just like these cool little details of just multiple rows of stitching on the waistband. It
it looks so nice. Now, like I said, I did forego the contrast top stitching on my pants. Basically, I couldn't decide what color contrast top stitching I thought would look nice, so I just went with whatever was close. They're good. There's still some like a little bit weirdness happening down here in the frontal crotch zone, but as I said while we were sewing, I did run into some issues with the front fly instructions and attaching. The instructions were fine, I'm not used to that method of fly installation. I'm really used to Helen's Closet method, which is like super straightforward, easy peasy. I've never had an issue with those. Bless you. So just using like a new method kind of threw me off a little bit, I think, and I probably will just stick with the instructions I know and can do successfully in the future. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with these. They're good instructions. They're just not what I'm used to, and that's all I'm saying. So as I said, I cut a 16 down, like hip down, and then I tried. I thought I was blending up to a 14 in the waist, and I definitely cut these pieces up here a lot smaller than the outlined 16. But then when I cut out the 14 waistband, it ended up too small somehow. Honestly, I think I may have accidentally cut a chunk off the end of the 14 waistband. So whatever, we had to make a new waistband and it was a-okay. It worked out just fine. But look at this. The butt, better. The best butt we've had so far in a pair of pants, which is great. I'm slowly learning, and that's good. It can be really tricky when you're looking at all these fit guides on the internet and there's just drawings of people's butts and fabric, and like it's really hard to actually picture what those lines look like on real fabric, on a real body, and not just a drawing. The drawings I don't find helpful at all in any way. Like all those articles, it's like, oh, the Closet Core pants fitting article, all the drag lines look the same to me. I cannot tell what they're doing, where they're going, why they're doing it. It's not helpful. I need to see it on real bodies, so I just spent, honestly, hours, way too long, specifically looking on Reddit, doing like a deep dive, pictures that people have posted of their fit issues and asking for suggestions on like how to fix them and how to go about that. And that's how I stumbled upon low butt, because low butt doesn't come up very often. It's like flat butt or full butt, but low butt isn't a super commonly talked about one. And I guess I got that low butt. The amount of scoop I scupped, the amount of scoop I took out of this crotch, you guys, is crazy. Which is why I had more issue with the crotch inseam sewing together, which is leading to a little bit of weirdness in the front, I think, but it's nothing crazy. I'm okay with it. So this is how much I scooped out after already doing a little scoop. Honestly, I think it was like 2.5 inches total. And I know, I'm sure there's something else you need to do in order to make that okay. But so far, we're on the right track. I'm thinking maybe in the future I'll try a really nice deep scoop and then perhaps a slight, like extend the crotch depth, the rise. Like for some reason in my head when people talk about extending the rise, I thought that would lead to your pants coming up higher. I was like, I don't want my pants to come up higher. High-waisted pants are already too high-waisted for me. Like this is pretty darn high. My belly button is right here where the button is. And that's like a little too high for me. But I mean, they're really comfortable, super comfortable. So I'm not upset with the rise. And I think they look pretty good. So that's cool. What was I talking about? I just got so distracted. Oh yeah. So I think I'm going to try I'm going to like lengthen the crotch depth a little bit. And then just in the back with like a deep scoop and see how that goes. And I think that might get us to a really decent point. And then I can use that like sort of crotch curve to kind of go ahead. Honestly, the tinfoil crotch method really helped out, I think, a lot, just to visualize what my butt's doing back there. Like I could tell. I know my butt cheek hangs lower than my crotch level. I know it does. But it just really helped to be able to visualize it, to draw on the foil where my like crotch center is, seeing that butt, she goes under. The butt goes underneath the crotch. And that's okay. But it's just really nice to know it and have, I guess, kind of a way to like move forward with that and try to figure out a really good fit. Anyway, I love these pants and I'll probably make more in the future. Do you want to see the cute little pockets I made? So I really do actually like how the like pocket ease in the pattern makes the pockets kind of like stand out a little bit, because A, that's kind of cute. B, if you're sneaky, you can see my little strawberry fabric in there. Yoo-hoo, strawberry pockets. And how cute is that? But like, I don't know, it looks kind of cute to like, little pockets sticking out. I think it's cute. I think it's super cute. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. I really love this pattern. It definitely makes me feel like I will for sure be trying more Daughter Judy patterns in the future, especially the pants. I know everybody always talks about how good the like drafting is for their pants and how well the pants fit. And honestly, before even I did the scoop, like they fit pretty okay, but still not great. But I'm very happy with how everything is fitting in terms of like finished garment measurements and like the ease and the pattern and everything actually lined up and came out the way that the pattern said it was going to, which is lovely. So if you've never sewn a Daughter Judy pattern before, go ahead, give it a try. The pants especially are nice. We should make a pair of co-trousers next. I have the Worship jeans pattern, but I don't know if I'll make those. I don't know why I bought that one. I should have bought co-trousers. Anyway, yada, 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 talk, talk, talk. Now the only thing is, I'm not a cool enough person to have footwear that like looks cute with pants like this. What am I gonna do about that? What are we gonna do about that? I don't know. But in the meantime, really happy with these pants. Real happy with these pants. Look at that. I'm moving around. Like it looks like I have a little bit of a wedgie, right? Looks a little bit wedgie-ish, but I don't mind. Actually, they kind of feel like they've relaxed a bit since I've been wearing them. Sorry, just like scooping my butt crack a bunch here. They feel like they've relaxed a bit, so maybe they look different from the back than they did when I first looked at them, so this will be fun to look back on. But like, so comfortable. Super comfortable pants. Really enjoying them. Definitely a little high in the rise, but comfy nonetheless. Yeah. Anyway, so safe to say these pants are like a 10 out of 10. Love them, and we'll definitely be making them again. I'd like to make them in a lighter weight fabric. I think a 10-ounce denim is a little crazy. It's kind of thick for my taste. My machine handled it no problem, but it just feels like a lot of fabric on my body, and it's just kind of weird. Just not used to it, maybe. But also, this fabric is a terrible, terrible lint, dog fur, thread, dust magnet. Like the worst fabric I've ever had in my entire life. The amount of lint rolling I had to do before taking these videos for you was kind of crazy, kind of wild, out of control. I just kneeled down on the rug here and I'm already covered in dog hair again. So don't know what to do about that when my life is just dog fur because of the dogs I have. Anyway, 10 out of 10, we'll make again. Also, I made cookies yesterday and they freaking rule.